Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, as you can see by the title of this video, I'm doing a speech. Just want to start off with a disclaimer. I'm not the best with public speaking. Like, I know we all have our weaknesses and all that, but when it comes to me publicly speaking, I tend to be really awkward or just nervous sometimes, which I know it's normal, but yeah, I post these videos to see my progress. I like to look back at them to see how far I've come, or just like be able to look at progress to see if I improved and to see what I could improve on, while also sharing that. Yeah, I pretty much share everything on my channel at this point, which is the purpose. Like, that's the purpose of my channel, is that I share my life and my experiences, my progress, anything of that sort. But I want to point out for this disclaimer that, you know, I'm not the best with public speaking. I'm still working on it, and that's why I'm taking this class in college, and it's required for me for my major. And I mean, it's general ed, and you know, I think it would really help me out in the long run, you know, with public speaking. So that's why I'm taking that course. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this video, by the way. And yeah, let's get to it. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the video, the speech specifically. I hope you enjoy the speech, and yeah, let's get to it.
Motivational agenda. I'm going to start with a story, and one of my all-time favorite stories begins with a man. Now one day, this man is walking down a path, and he finds an egg, an eagle's egg. He takes the egg and he places it into the nest of a backyard hen. Pretty soon, the eagle hatches with the chicks and grows up with them. Now, all his life, this eagle did what the chickens did. He would poke around in the dirt for worms and insects to eat. He would fly deep in the air like the chickens do. He would pluck around. As time passed, that eagle, he grew very, very old. And one day, he saw something above him. This thing, it glided gracefully and majestically through the clouds. "What's that?" the eagle asked. "Oh, that? Oh, that's an eagle," one chicken responds. "He is the king of all birds, the master of the skies. But we're just chickens, and we belong to the ground. Don't worry about him, because you will never be that." And that eagle lived and died a chicken, because that is what he thought he was. You see, when we were kids, we dared to live a life of impracticality. We would be astronauts and doctors and professional athletes, and we would change the world and expect nothing less of ourselves. But over time, in one way or another, we become victims to complacency and resign ourselves to mediocrity. Because what happens, and it's a very scary thing what happens, is you start limiting yourself without even knowing it. Without even taking a step back and questioning whether or not you're capable of more, whether or not you deserve more, you begin to limit yourself. And it's not our fault. It's the programming of society. They tell you that you should dream big, but not too big. They tell you that you should work hard and get a safe job, not necessarily a job that you love. They tell you to spend the best years of your life watching television in the subdivision. They tell you that you can't make it to the pros, you can't build a great company, you can't build the house of your dreams, you can't make a real difference, you can't change the world. You can't. And what happens if I listen to this message, and if I allow this message to influence me, and it's terrifying, is one day I'm afraid I'll wake up, and I'll be 20 years old, or 35 years old, or 55 years old, or 85 years old, and I'll have this realization that I allowed this thinking, this mass thinking, to influence me. That I allowed it to waste precious time. That, like a thief in the night, I allowed it to steal life from me. That I allowed it to siphon my happiness and potential and imagination. Never let them take those things from you. Because if they do, all we become is a flickering light, a shadow of withering desire, an aimless creature stumbling over liberty in search of the illusion of fulfillment, shackled by conformity disguised as hope.
Hi everyone.
Hey.
So I chose this speech because I was curious to know more about Trahan, because he's one of my favorite YouTubers, and I really like the message that he portrays, because his message is very inspirational and very relatable. And knowing how Trahan is like in his videos, I like to see how his personality is in his speech compared to how he is in his videos. But he was using humor and authenticity in his speech. He was talking about growth and potential capabilities, and he warns us about self-limitation and conformity, which is trying to change yourself to match the social norms. He used a story about an eagle and egg an eagle raised by chickens to illustrate how people would settle for ordinary lives than to pursue their true potential and passions. Around 40 seconds into the speech to a minute, he uses storytelling to connect with the audience from the beginning. He reflected with his peers and the lessons and journeys throughout his whole high school career. He used humor and lighthearted comments, which made the speech feel more natural, speaking conversationally, and I think it was very engaging as well. To conclude, Ryan was authentic with his natural personality, and his humor supported his speech even more. He connected really well with his audience and ended with a reflection, an inspirational message, which I think people would take that in the long run. So for my questions, how did Ryan's storytelling make his speech more effective rather than if he just listed advice?
He gives people like more of an idea. I believe that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was pretty effective because he used his experiences to support his message instead of just telling people kind of what to do. What did you notice about Ryan's pacing and tone when he reached the ending?
I guess it wasn't so much that it only in the beginning, but I like how he didn't let the fact that his hat flew off disturb him. I don't know if that was me, I would have immediately fixated on that.
Yeah, I think so too. And he also just showed sincerity, and he was very thoughtful as well for that too. And at the end, it really showed how that was the important part of the speech as well. My last question is, what was his behavior that had the biggest impact on the audience and why?
I think his humor connected the audience pretty well, got them engaged, and he hit it right off the bat. So that was a good start.
Yeah, I agree. And I think also that Ryan's storytelling had the biggest impact as well. And instead of just giving advice, he was also sharing his experiences, which made it easier for the audience to relate to him. So, thank you.